Well, good evening. So it's David Lancaster, the district chairperson of the Waukesha County Area Technical College Board of Trustees. This is the August 11th, 2020 district board meeting. Prior to calling the Pledge of Allegiance, we're going to have some quick housekeeping. Jennifer.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Thomas. I am the Executive Assistant to the WCTC District Board of Trustees. Welcome to the August 11th WCTC District Virtual Board Meeting. As a virtual board meeting, as David had said, or Chairperson Lancaster, there's a few housekeeping items we need to address for tonight's meeting. As you can see on the screen, all attendees, your microphones are muted unless you have completed the steps to address the board agenda through public remarks. Specific instructions to submit a request to address the board were outlined in the WCTC board agenda. As stated on that agenda, public remarks are limited to 3 minutes per person and 15 minutes in total. At the point of tonight's agenda for public remarks, the board chairperson will ask if there are public remarks, and I will respond with your name, and your microphone will be unmuted so you can address the board. At this time, I'm going to call on the board members to introduce themselves and their position for the public, and I will start with Chairperson Lancaster.
David Lancaster, Chairperson.
Courtney Bauer.
Courtney Bauer, Vice Chair.
Michael Weeb.
Michael Weeb, Treasurer Secretary.
Joe Garza.
Joe Garza, Board Member.
Brian Baumgartner.
Brian Baumgartner, Board Member.
Julie Valadez. Alan Karch.
Alan Karch, Board Member.
Thomas Mahalski.
Thomas Mahalski, Board Member.
And Katie Pansloff is a board member, but she has been excused from tonight's meeting. Thank you, board members, for introducing yourselves. Our next item, as you can see, presenters, when you present for your presentations, please make sure that you introduce yourself before you present. Board members, presenters, and public should not be using the chat feature during this board meeting. We do have a closed session on the agenda for tonight, which will be scheduled for approximately 90 minutes. At that time, the public will be temporarily disengaged from that portion of the meeting and will be re-engaged to hear any motions that the board made. And at that time, I'm going to turn back over to Chair Lancaster, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. At this time, if you'd like to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please do so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, first agenda item this evening is public and staff remarks. Jennifer, are there any?
There are none.
Hearing none, we'll move on to the second agenda item, the WCTC update on college activities. Kaylin, you're up.
Thank you. 693 boxes were assembled and sent to our spring 2020 graduates. Without a ceremony of any kind, the President's Executive Cabinet thought it was important to recognize our WCTC and dual enrollment graduates. Staff assembled these boxes that have now all been delivered. There was a WCTC cup, a water bottle, a tassel, noting that they were 2020 graduates, alumni sticker, and a congratulations letter as well. Thank yous from graduates are coming in to various individuals, and we're very proud to recognize our graduates during this very unsettling time, but very important to let them know that we are proud that they're graduates of WCTC. So thank you to everyone who helped assemble boxes. They had an assembly line going in the RTA and put those boxes together and got them mailed. And so thank you very much to everyone who put in the effort to put that all together for our graduates. I'm very proud that we were able to do that. August 3rd was the first day for staff to be back on campus up to 50%. And tomorrow, August 12th, is our in-service for staff. It is a shortened in-service. And Chair Lancaster will be doing a welcome from the board. There will also be a guest speaker following Chair's remarks. On August 17th, students and faculty will be returning. So busy couple of weeks for everybody, and we're looking forward to that. I'm very pleased to announce that Moody's Investor Service on August 3rd, 2020, maintained WCTC's AAA bond rating as it continues to recognize the district's large and diverse economy and tax base at WCTC, or tax base at Waukesha County, excuse me. They also pointed to well-managed financial operations of the college, a healthy reserve level, low debt, and pension obligations. For the new board members, back several years ago, WCTC was the first to establish an irrevocable trust for our other post-employment benefit obligations. Several things that occurred, including a window for retirement that allowed us to fund our other post-employment benefits to the maximum, fulfilling that obligation. As you know, every year as we get our information regarding our pension, and we continue to look at that, but it is, I think at last count, and Jane will correct me, but is about 103% funded. So we're very, very proud of that and things that were done to maintain that. Obviously, maintaining a AAA bonding, there are many factors that play into that, but a large part is that fiscal management of the district, which includes everyone at the college and the board's leadership in that effort. So thank you to everyone for that. And a special thanks to Jane Kittle, who spoke with Moody's at length, especially during this time with the COVID, and answered a lot of tough questions that helped maintain our AAA bonding. So thank you very much, Jane. It shows when it comes to borrow, and we're very proud of maintaining that. So thank you very much, Jane, for everything. That's my report, Chair Lancaster.
Thank you, Kaylin. Jane, it goes without saying that we are all very confident you had those Moody's guys sweating in their boots. So well done.
Thank you very much, Kaylin and David. Thank you.
Okay, next agenda item will be the approval of consent agenda items. At this point, is any board member have any specific item to be brought forth for discussion?
David, sorry, this is Jennifer. Did we want Julie to introduce herself before?
Oh, yes, thank you very much. Julie? Julie Valadez, just please introduce yourself to the group.
Thank you. Julie Valadez, member.
Thank you very much. Again, next board member, or excuse me, next agenda item is approval of consent. At this time, does any board member have any specific item to be brought forth for discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Michael Weeb, I make a motion for approval of the consent items.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Brian Baumgartner, second.
Thanks, Brian. This will require a vote. We are going to go to roll call votes. So Jennifer, if you can walk us through process.
Sure. Chairperson Lancaster.
Aye.
Courtney Bauer.
Aye.
Michael Weeb.
Aye.
Joe Garza.
Yes.
Brian Baumgartner.
Aye.
Julie Valadez,
Aye.
Alan Karch,
Aye.
Thomas Mahalski,
Aye.
Very good. Motion carries. At this point in time, we are very pleased to have 4 new hires or recently promoted instructors with us this evening for introduction. So without further ado, Rebecca Fredericks, you're on.
Hi, thanks for having me. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Just want to make sure I'm sort of new to this format, so.
We all are.
Okay, good. Well, thank you again for having me. I'm so excited to be here at the college. I am a registered nurse and I'll be teaching in the nursing program. I've been a nurse for 18 years and I'm a proud graduate of the technical college system myself. I actually graduated from Nicolay Area Technical College in 2002, finishing my bachelor's at Green Bay and then my master's last year in Colorado. So I did exactly what we hoped to do and I matriculated up through things for about 20 years. So I really value lifelong education. I really feel like my technical college experience changed my life. I actually had dropped out of a 4-year program and was sort of I didn't know what to do with myself at 18. And so someone pushed me toward Nicolay and I went, and it truly has set me on a path that allows me to provide for my family and has really enriched my life. And I love being a nurse and I love now being an instructor. And so far, WCTC has been incredibly generous with time and resources and helping me make that leap from practice to teaching, which is obviously, I think even for me, like feels bigger than I expected and feels like a big, it feels like a big transition. So I'm grateful for the support. Everyone's been amazing. I can't wait to get started. I really hope to be part of WCTC's mission of transforming lives and providing others with the tools that the technical college gave me.
Fantastic. Well, welcome aboard. It's great to have you back in the Wisconsin Technical College system, and you can set the skis aside and pick up your bowling ball and sharpen up your curling skills. So
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
great to have you. Next up is Jody Wiebelhaus, nursing instructor. Jody, you're still on mute. You may have to unmute yourself, please.
Oh,
Thank you.
I thought somebody was going to unmute me. So, hi everybody. I'm really excited to be a part of this meeting. It's wonderful to meet all of you. And taking off of Becky. Becky and I were previous colleagues in Pro Healthcare, so it was pretty exciting that we get to join the WCTC team together. And I have to echo her remarks. You know, the onboarding process so far has been amazing. So kudos to all of you that set up the Journey program. And you know, career-wise, I have worked for Pro Healthcare for the past 20 years, 7 years as a nurse in the hospital, and then the past 13 years as a nurse practitioner. And I've also taught at Concordia University for the past 7 years in their nurse practitioner program. So I come from a family of educators, my parents, my siblings, their spouses, cousins, their spouses. I mean, you know, it's kind of in our blood, and it's exciting to be able to now kind of do this full time, you know, be an educator full time. So really excited about it. And, you know, so far the experience has been wonderful with WCTC. And on a personal note, I'm married, I have 3 wonderful children. We live on a farm, have a ton of animals, every farm animal you could probably think of, we have. So we have a fun life. Or I have a fun life outside of my professional life. So, but it's great to meet all of you, and I look forward to being a part of the team.
Well, fantastic. Well, welcome aboard. We're glad you've chosen to continue the legacy here at WCTC. So thank you very much and congratulations. Next up, Julie Harton, interior design instructor.
Hi everyone, how are you? It's nice to be here, and it's nice to see some of my new friends from the Journey process. That really was an exciting experience. I'm actually from the Cleveland area. I just moved to Wisconsin in January for my significant other's job. We're out here actually in Toma, and I'll be in Waukesha during the week until we make our next move to be a little closer. That's been fun so far. But my background, I have a Bachelor of Science in Interior Design from University of Cincinnati. I worked in DC doing corporate and government design, Dallas doing high-end residential and hospitality, working on projects all over the world. Then I moved back to Cleveland and I actually had my own business doing interior design, but also doing a lot of event design and really running a full-size rental company. But while I was doing that, that's when I first started teaching. I taught at one of the colleges in Cleveland for 3 years. I taught mostly the architectural drafting courses, hand drafting, teaching AutoCAD, Revit, all of that. And that's really where it was my love, because you're reaching students all ages and you are teaching them something that they'll take with them for the rest of their lives. Even if they end up not following through, but you're touching them in some way. And it's just like, oh, and Kaylin, I can see you shaking your head. I was crying when you were talking to us during the journey process, because that's how I feel. So anyway, excited to be here. When I saw this position, I was like, it's gonna throw a wrench in things, but I need to go for it because this really is my passion. And with my last job, I had to give it up. And within 1 month, it was like, oh, something in my soul was taken, you know? I'm excited to be here. The program, the people, everyone seems amazing. I like a lot of the things that they have in place for the students, especially in the design department, with the travel abroad, the dual degree program. So I'm excited to be here and start teaching on Tuesday.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the WCTC community, and we'll market that energy of yours in a testimonial there. So that's great. Congrats. Our last introduction here today is Joseph Harrigus, carpentry instructor.
Hi, everybody. Joe Harrigus. I've been in construction my entire life, and that's not a stretch. I'm the 4th generation carpenter in my family. The previous, mostly all union trained. I was trained through ABC apprenticeship. I've run our family construction business. We've run that successfully since 1947. And I've been running, or I was with the rest of the family, 2 sisters, my sisters will run it now for at least the last 10 years. It's hard to say. You wear a lot of hats when you run a business, from sales, design. So I'm excited. The reason I decided to do this is because there is a gigantic lack of trained, skilled craftsmen in the field, and it's massive. It's every bit as bad as anything you hear, and sometimes worse. So it's time to start training people, and I'm hoping with my knowledge and skills, I'll be able to do that. Transferring what I know to teaching is challenging. And again, reiterating what everyone else said, the journey, the way WCTC sets things up is very well done, exceedingly well done. So I have a lot of confidence in the system. I have a lot of confidence in my ability to teach these young people to a skill, and I'm excited to do it. So I taught last year from January, and that was a lot of fun. I got a lot to learn, so I will be leaning on the people in my department and others to learn how to teach better. So I start next Monday. It'll be great. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Joe. Again, welcome aboard. Congratulations, and we'll look forward to a lot of good things coming from you. Thank you. Okay, appreciate all the comments from the guests. Next agenda item, action item, is a resolution to accept the sale of a $4.5 million general obligation promissory note. Jane Kittle.
Good evening. We're going to be taking a look at the memo that is in your board packet on page 14, talking about that today actually was a very exciting morning. We are going to ask that the board approve and award the sale of our general purpose general obligation promissory notes, $4.5 million today. You authorized it at the July meeting. We held the sale this morning, and I am happy to introduce Lisa Voyson. She's here with us at the board meeting. She is our financial advisor from Robert W. Baird. She's going to walk you through the bids that came in. We did have 11 bidders, so it was a very exciting morning. And she'll walk you through the results of that bidding and where we ended up. So there's a document that Kristen will share with you. And Lisa?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, I was so glad you didn't steal my thunder, Jean. I'm so excited. This is the lowest. I've been doing this for 32 years, and it's the lowest interest rate I've ever locked in for a client. 0.26% was your interest rate of your borrowing today. 0.26%. So let's put that into perspective. We budgeted a little bit higher than that when we put the financing together. I think that we had 2.5% that we budgeted. Let me just make sure that was right.
I believe it was 2.5%.
And so having such a low interest rate is not only a function of what Kaylin, and again, great job reviewing that AAA bond rating, because that plays very much into the fact that you got 11 bids and such a low interest rate. This highest bond rating you can get, you've pretty much maintained that for the 32 years I've been at Baird. There are 6 technical colleges that have a AAA bond rating, I believe. And obviously you're one of them. So having that bond rating in today's COVID municipal bond market was huge. I will say very rarely do you get that many bids. So 11 bids is very, the last time, I think if you scroll down a little bit, the last time you went to market, which was earlier this year in February, you had 3 bids. So that gives you an idea of how much interest there is in a AAA debt. The other factor that I look at when I look at the 26 basis points is the cover. The second bid is 27. So that tells me that it's a really, really strong market and interest rates are very low. It's not, if it was not a strong market or there was a lot of volatility and craziness going on, you'd see that cover bid a lot higher, like 0.4, 0.5. So the fact they're so close just tells me that it's a strong market and there's a lot of interest for the AAA. The lowest that I just looked it up while I was waiting, and in August of 2014 you got down to a 0.89, 0.88, 0.89. So again, this is the lowest he's ever been. And when you look at the difference in interest costs from what we budgeted to what you're going to be paying, it's about $140,000. So you're paying $140,000 less in interest costs because of the AAA and because of the market is interest rates are just so low right now. So congratulations, it's very exciting. So if there's any questions, let me know. I was going to review the bond rating, but again, Kaylin did a great job and she hit all the highlights of what a great job you're doing as a college fiscally, and the fact that, you know, just the area economy is so strong through all of this. And I don't know how we're going to end up next year when we do the next borrowing as it relates to the economy. But, you know, Jane did a great job laying out what you've done to kind of combat all of the factors that are playing when we talk about the whole COVID situation, because there were a lot of COVID questions. And she did just a great job with just so much confidence in her answers, and they listened for that. So she knocked it out of the park. It was a long call, but it was worth it.
Thank you, Lisa. We did, you know, as a President's Executive Cabinet, we have obviously, as you would imagine, spend a lot of time on what we're doing as a college to combat the virus and how we're responding and how we're dealing with it. So those were all really good things that I could relay on to Moody's Investor Service through the rating calls. So yeah, it did. It was a long call, but it went very well. And I appreciate the results are amazing. So I'll take any questions that the board may have on this process or these results, and then ask that you put up a resolution awarding the sale to the UMB Bank, the #1 bidder at the 0.2581% true interest cost.
Dave, Joe Garza here. Quick question. I echo everybody's sentiments related to the outcome here. Certainly, it's just great to see. Just from a broader perspective in our portfolio, and/or if there are any additional callable bonds, have we had conversations related to that? I'm assuming you have. Given where the market is at this point, and while this is a snapshot of this instance, what could this mean for our broader portfolio as a system?
So if I can just interject, Jane, all of debt issued for WCTC is non-callable because it's so short. It's only 5 years. The amortization is very short. So we don't have anything callable. We are refinancing Fox Valley Technical College's their referendum debt right now. But you have such short amortization that there's nothing that would make sense to refinance. And I think that's kind of what you're getting at. All of your debt right now is being paid off in 2025. And we do that on purpose. That gets you the low interest rates, and we're managing a very equal tax levy on a year-over-year basis. So it's about 8.7 million for debt service, or your fiscal year debt payments are about 8.7 million. And that's something that we have targeted year over year in terms of just trying to manage an equal payment structure.
So I really appreciate that response. I have nothing else other than, again, thank you for your efforts and congratulations to us on this bid.
Thank you, Joe.
Joe, thanks. Excellent question. It's when I look at the quality of and really the slate of bidders, and you think about securing it at a 26 basis point rate and then compare it to what was out there 6 months ago, it truly is phenomenal. Just observationally, you couple that with, the earlier statement of a OPEB being funded at 103%. It should make us all feel very, very good. So congratulations to the work that you guys are doing. Jane, I'm not sure your feet are on the ground yet, but it's a fantastic result. And Lisa, thank you a ton for helping drive the bus on this.
Sure.
So
Thank you, David.
any additional questions for Lisa or Jane? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve the resolution. If somebody could please post that back up so that I can specify.
That resolution's on page 14. Yes, right there at the top of the memo.
Resolution awarding the sale of $4.5 million general obligation promissory notes to
Chris,
Scroll
skip
down.
down the page, please.
Scroll down to the bidders.
Thank you.
There you go.
to UMB Bank NA at the rate of 0.2581%.
Thank you, Joe. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Very good. This will recall a roll call vote. So Jennifer, please.
Sure. Chairperson Lancaster,
Aye.
Courtney Bauer,
Aye.
Michael Wiebe,
Aye.
Joe Garza,
Yes.
Brian Baumgartner,
Yes.
Julie Valadez,
Yes.
Alan Karch,
Aye.
Thomas Mahalski.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Congratulations. Excellent news. Thank you. Okay, next up, we have 3 presentations. First presentation this evening will be on the presidential search update. Paul Gabriel and Don Stevens.
Greetings. Greetings as well. It's kind of a bad day when you can't find the mic. But we're pleased to be here. I'm kind of taking greater oversight in the closed session, so I'm just going to pass this on to Paul so that he can share we have right now for the public and the board.
Thank you. It's great to see you all, and we, Don and I, are delighted to continue to work with you on what's been a really dynamic and we think to date a very productive search. There is a one-page summary, just a couple of bullet points, but it's very simple this month. We closed the application portal on July 31st. After 11 weeks, it opened on May 15th, closed on July 31st. We received approximately 60 applications for the position of president. The website is still live and is up as a resource. But if a person looks at it now and seeks to apply, it says that applications are no longer being accepted. Shout out once again to Andy Palin of your staff and his team for the great assistance with Don and me, great assistance to us in preparing that website for you. We had some nice compliments from various candidates we've talked with about the thoroughness of those materials and how well it portrayed the college. We've completed a pretty exhaustive initial screening process. And as you know, but we'll say for the public, district board members have been reviewing, completing a second level of detailed screening over the past 10 days or so. Board members are assessing candidates on the basis of the sought after qualifications, experience, attributes, skills that the board developed, that we led you through internal and external community input, including an all faculty staff survey in February and 2 faculty staff forums in March and about 20 interviews out in the community with individual board members and with college leaders. The next steps, Don has already suggested, and you heard from Jennifer, there'll be a closed session this evening following this meeting at which we will board members and the search team will be discussing in detail a number of candidates and again the sought after qualifications and experience leading to a great hire. We expect that that process will continue. There's no set date yet for the selection of finalists as of this time. The search does remain on target to engage a new president for WCTC in the fall of 2020. So we appreciate the opportunity to work on your behalf, and we're open to any questions, Chair Lancaster.
Any questions from the trustees? If not, thanks, Don, Paul, and we will await a more detailed discussion momentarily.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up, we have a presentation by Mike Shields on the pole barn project. Mike, you're up.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to present the progress that we have made to date on planning for a renovation of some of the space that we currently have on campus. Next slide, please. So currently our construction trades programs are growing. We've added several new programs. We've added construction management, and we've also added a dual enrollment academy for high school students. And we're anticipating that construction management program to be full when it starts this semester, which is great news. We have a good number of applicants for that program. Our construction trades dual enrollment academy for high school seniors, we offer 2 sections of that. We've had incredible growth in our ABC electrical apprenticeship program over the last couple of years. And we're also starting an electricity technical diploma program in the fall with great interest for that. But as a result of all of the activity in these construction trades programs, we need more space to educate our students in these different program areas. Recently, through the expansion of our emergency vehicle and truck driver training area on campus, we added 2 new storage facilities in that area, which freed up the pole barn for this opportunity to utilize it for our construction trades programs. Next slide, please. So the first thing I'd like to do is just kind of give you an idea of where this is located on campus. So we affectionately affectionately refer to this as the barn. And it is on essentially the southwest side of our campus. And it is definitely a barn. You've heard quite a bit about our new area where we'll be doing our graduation. It is directly south of that. And there's new parking area being paved outside of that area currently as part of a project that's going on. So this gives you a frame of reference of where this facility is located on the campus. Next slide, please. I think you'll see from this picture why we affectionately refer to it as the barn. It's been on campus for quite a while, and we have used it to store cars for our automotive program, material for our different program areas. So it's been a very well and heavily utilized area, but now it's time to convert it into educational space. You can also see on the right-hand side of your screen what the inside of the barn looks like. It's just a wide open space. And next slide, please. Is what we're proposing in this area is Jeff will work with our architect, and we're all currently working with him, but Jeff will work with him and we'll go out to bid shortly with approvals to basically insulate the entire area and then put plywood walls up on the inside so that our construction trades programs can build walls and structures in there, and so that our electrical and plumbing programs can go to work inside of those walls, and then our other programs will install drywall and sheetrock and perform all the different techniques needed to finish those areas. So when you look at the previous slide with the wide open space in it, it is absolutely ideal for construction trades programs and courses to utilize that space for the exactly the type of work they'll be doing in industry. Next slide, please. So we've been planning for this area for a few months now, and tonight is our presentation to make you aware of this and answer any questions you have about this project. Next month, Jeff will bring this project again forward for your approval. And then it will shortly after that go to the state board for their approval, and then it will go out for bid. And hopefully we can begin construction in this area in late October, early November, so that it can be ready early in either January or February for the second semester. Next slide, please. Any questions?
Mike, I was thinking about some of the construction that we had done a few months back, and we were kind of running into and facing that issue with contractors being very filled up with work and finding more difficulty getting active bidders and aggressive bidders. And maybe this is a question perhaps for you and Jeff both, but do you suspect we'll have those same types of issues this round with the pole barn?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to let Jeff take that question.
I hope not, Chair Lancaster. If you recall, the last bid that we opened for the W building, we had 10 bidders on that project. Part of that was because of the timing of it, where it wasn't conflicting with the other schools that usually are bidding in the summertime. So we had a fall project and we had 10 bidders on it. So this will be a fall winter project that'll be starting for us. So I'm hoping that we do get a number of good bids on it, because it will fill in work for contractors who are maybe not as busy as they would like to be right now.
Mm-hmm. Great, great. Any questions for Mike?
Yeah, David, Brian Baumgartner. Jeff, is there any way on that build that the students get involved in that at all?
They will be involved in it, Brian. We are just basically insulating the roof and the shell of the building. After that, Mike and his instructors will be doing all of the new walls that the electrical students will be using. And the carpentry students will be part of that. And Mike has also talked about plumbing. Students could go in there to rough in plumbing like they would see in a residential property. HVAC students could go in there to rough in for the HVAC type work. And then the other half of the building is basically being left wide open for all of the carpentry students so that they can build temporary walls or permanent walls and then take them back down once they're done with the project. Mike, anything else to add, or is that what I remember from the meetings?
Yeah, Jeff, you covered it all. The students are, in fact, Tim Elft and Mark Resnick are associate deans of our construction-related programs. We're working with the faculty today on planning projects for the students because they'll be able to even construct some of these walls and kind of prefabricate them in the fall semester. So as soon as the building is open, we're ready to move in and get some of those walls up right away. So that's really the idea behind this open space, is to have the students construct the things that are needed on the inside of the shell.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Well, Mike, thank you very much for the presentation. We'll look forward to next month's layout of exactly what everything's going to cost and look like here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is we have a special guest tonight, Ellen Phillips, to discuss the WCTC Foundation Board activities. So Ellen, welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening. As you know, I'm president of the WCTC Foundation, and I'm here representing the Foundation Board to give you your annual update. Thanks so much for inviting me. So the foundation was founded in 1977 to secure charitable resources to assist WCTC students in achieving their educational goals. Next slide, please. So in summary, we're supporting students in accessing, continuing, and completing their educational journey. Next. The structure of the foundation is a separate organization from the college. So we're a 501c3 charitable organization governed by 9 board members representing corporations and the community. And we just added another one as our district board liaison, Brian Baumgartner, and we're really thrilled about that. Next, please. So the foundation's operating budget annually is about $250,000. Our average return on investment since 1997 is for every dollar spent in operating, we received about $4.69 in charitable gifts. The national standard is that for every dollar, about $4.50. So we're staying steady and stronger than the average. Next, please. So the foundation has a lot of accounts. We oversee 381 separate accounts, each with their own criteria and purpose. And that includes 145 scholarship funds, 165 advised funds, and 71 endowments. The scholarships are your traditional scholarships. The advised funds provide for program support, equipment, capital needs, and emergencies. And the endowments are permanently restricted with a minimum gift of $10,000 to initiate that fund. Next, please. So scholarships are our top priority. And since 1997, we've awarded $5.5 million in scholarships to almost 7,000 students. Scholarship distribution increased 33% in 2018 and has continued to do so. So what do the students say about their scholarships? We ask every student to write a thank you note to their donor. And I have a couple quotes here from their letters. So this student said, "I'm so glad to receive this scholarship because funds are really tight at this time for buying books and the tools I need for my metal fabrication course." And the next student said, "This scholarship will be put to good use and will help me be able to worry about getting good grades rather than can I continue to afford school." We also offer a variety of scholarships. It's kind of interesting. We have a technical diploma and certificate scholarship for those students taking less than 6 credits, for our CNA students in truck driving who aren't eligible for scholarships. We have a destination graduation scholarship For students that are 6 to 9 credits away from completing their degree and who have left their studies, we hope to encourage them to come back. And then there's the Maryland Young Marketing Scholarship established by a WCTC alum, Corey Fitzpatrick. He was a young graduate, so impressed with Maryland's teaching that he came to us and said, I'd like to try to offer a scholarship for 3 years. He ended up establishing an endowment in Maryland's name. And a student accessibility fund supported by our retiree Deb Gilbert provides students with materials, technology, and equipment that will assist their learning experience. So, emergency needs, top reason student drops out of school is because of unforeseen financial emergencies. We have 14 emergency funds, including our Hand Up Grant Fund for urgent financial needs, the Wallendahl Fund, providing gas cards and bus passes to get to school, and the Campus Cupboard. We do receive a lot of monetary donations to keep the cupboard stocked. Almost $50,000 in support was distributed through these 14 funds last year. So how do we raise this money? We have a community appeal that is annually forwarded to the community in early November and is critical, absolutely necessary for the funding of student scholarships. This past year, we raised almost $338,000 through that appeal. We also do a staff giving appeal internally, asking staff to support us in the months of November and December with a special emphasis on Giving Tuesday. And special thanks to WCTC's WACTE organization for their appeal challenge, providing a match for the first $10,000 in donations received. This year's appeal raised just over $31,000. We also do special appeals, like in the spring. So we needed to address emergency student needs related to the pandemic. So we undertook an appeal, and over $51,000 was realized to support students with unexpected expenses incurred by converting to online learning. $10,635 of this funding was utilized through the end of the fiscal year, with the remainder to support students this year. Another thing we're involved with, and Mike, I was holding my breath to hear what was going on with this pole barn. But since 1991, the foundation has supported 7 WCTC building projects with donations totaling $12.2 million. A really critical part of our program is our remembrance gifts. You don't always hear a lot about this, but over 600 individuals have been memorialized mainly through this program. It has resulted in over $1 million in donations and strong legacies for many people in the community that become very directly tied to the college. Next, please. So what is that foundation board doing? Well, Dan Wolfgram, our chair, would say quite a bit. This last year was busy in our operational efforts. We transferred the Workforce Development Center to the college. We completed our memorandum of understanding approved by both boards. Our financial statements were revised, redesigned, much easier for our board. And I want to thank Christine Goltz, Jerry Finley, and Sharon Violet for their work on that. We also established a foundation operation advised fund. And finally, you may have seen a for sale sign across 16. This is Jeff's favorite project. We are leaving, we have the Morris Street building up for sale, listed in April. We accepted an offer and it looks like we're going to close in September. So what's in the year ahead? We're going to have 3 main priorities. Strategically recruiting new foundation board members, absolutely essential. Continue looking at our fiscal operational effectiveness, and most of all, keeping fundraising as our priority and donor relations. I wanted to show you this slide because it represents a number of things. Now kind of look at this. We have 2 donors that have each given over $3 million each. A donor that's given over $1 million, 2 over $500,000, 10 over $250,000, 32 donors over $100,000, 41 over $50,000, and 63 donors over $25,000. This is so indicative of the belief in what's going on at the school. These are long-term givers. That means once someone enters into a donor relationship, they're staying with us. And that's a really good sign in so many ways. So we've raised over $28 million since 1997, about 18 million in monetary gifts, 10 in kind, representing almost 20,000 in donations received. So finally, I'd like to say that it's critically important to realize that people are investing in the college through their personal and corporate donations. They are demonstrating a deep belief in WCTC, in the faculty, staff, and leadership, and most of all in our students. Next slide, please. And so finally, I want to thank the district board and the college and the leadership for your support on behalf of the foundation board, and tell you how much we appreciate the partnership we share. Thank you.
Excellent presentation. Do we have any questions on the foundation, operations, direction, anything from the board? Ellen, I sincerely want to thank you. I think it's really, really good for all of us to see this and to see the scale and the magnitude of the hard work that you all are doing. So thank you very, very much sincerely on behalf of the board. The numbers are pretty amazing when you take a look at them. So in these times of trouble here, hopefully we all keep our own personal giving in mind, and as well, and recognize that this is helping an awful lot of people fulfill the mission that the school is about here. So thank you very much for that enlightening, inspirational presentation. So thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. That concludes the open session agenda this evening. We'll conclude, I guess, with the board evaluation of the meeting. Board members, any thought about this evening's meeting?
Dave, this is Courtney. I just wanted to comment on Mike Shields' report. That is amazing. I am glad to see that once again. He has not let us down and that he's involving the students in the construction of this. As much hands-on experience as they can get is great, and that just made me really happy to hear that they're going to be doing as much as they can with a project for the campus.
This
Hey,
is
David.
Michael Lee. It's also great to see the new courses, right? We hear that we don't get enough trades available for the businesses in our community. So there was mention of a number of new courses there to address that need head on. So thank you very much for that.
David Allen Karch. In regards to Ellen's presentation, working together with the foundation to accomplish some of those goals was very rewarding to me. And I know we thanked Ellen before, but just another thanks, Ellen, for all that hard work and a real positive completion. We enjoyed joining together during the Christmas celebration. I will look forward to doing that again.
Well said, Alan. Any other additional comments?
Yeah, I would just like to comment that I'm looking forward to the orientation coming up a little bit later this month. I personally have quite a few questions that I don't think it's worthwhile asking at this point, but hopefully after the orientation, I will be a little bit more of a better contributor to the meetings.
Certainly understand. Thanks, Tom. Well, the thing that struck me tonight, which I really liked, is the diversity. When you think about the diversity of the presentations, we had, and everybody, everything was commented on. We had new programs being talked about. We had, the foundation report to kind of give us that sense and feel for the underpinnings. And we had wonderful news on our borrowing effort and what's being done to support the institution financially. And I certainly would not discount the energy of our 4 new staff members. So it's neat to see that kind of diversification in the presentations for the board. So thank you all very much, presenters. Wonderful content this evening. And thank you for your time and your efforts. So with that said, we will be entering closed session at this point in time. So I will need a motion to enter closed session.
This is Michael Wiebe. I'll make a motion that we pursue to section 19.851C Wisconsin statutes to convene into closed session to discuss the presidential search update.
Thank you, Michael. Do I have a second?
Brian Baumgartner, I will second that.
Thank you, Brian. This will require a roll call vote. Jennifer, please.
Chairperson Lancaster,
Aye.
Courtney Bauer,
Aye.
Michael Wiebe,
Aye.
Joe Garza,
Yes.
Brian Baumgartner,
Aye.
Julie Valadez,
Aye.
Alan Karch,
Aye, sorry.
all good, Tom Mahalski.
Aye.
Good, motion carries. At this time, the public will be temporarily disengaged from this portion of the meeting. And when we reconvene, the public will be re-engaged to hear any motions, if any, that were made. Thank you all for attending. We are now moving into closed session.
David, it appears everybody's here.
Very good. Thank you, Alan. We are now back in open session. Do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn?
Is there a second?
I second the motion, Michael Wiebe.
Very good. It does recall a roll call vote. David Lancaster, aye.
Courtney Bauer, aye.
Michael Wiebe, aye.
Alan Karch, aye.
Brian Baumgartner, aye.
Joe Garza, aye.
Tom Mihalski, aye.
Very good. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Yep.